And we remain on topic. We welcome journalist Pablo Malizzia from Argentina to talk more about Pope Francis' legacy. Welcome, Pablo, to From the South. Wish he was in better circumstances.
Yes, very, very sad day for most of the planet, I would say. Pope Francis brought a new wave of freshness, not only to the Catholic Church, but to the hundreds of millions of people around the world that um, found in him uh, a, a returning of the old Mother Church to the basic principles that Jesus actually taught. And especially the poor people of the planet, the the people that are excluded from nowadays system, all the people that suffers hunger, cold, all the migrants, they they are surely going, we are surely going through a very, very sad moment. We have the feeling that Pope Francis started to do a revolution inside the church, but also in the heart of all the Christian people. And sadly, he didn't have enough time to accomplish everything he had in mind, I think. But um, most people would agree if I say that Catholic Church is not going to be the same after Francis was Pope. And the steps he took forward, I think that they are going to be, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to try to walk back uh, to the point that we were before he was named Pope. I think the world was a better place with him around us, with his voice speaking loud and clear, especially to the Latin American people. Among the Latin American Catholic community is one of the biggest in the planet. So he knew he was talking to his people when he spoke here in Latin America, and he was without any doubt a revolutionary leader, as Jesus was himself. So Pope Francis brought back a lot the faith in the poor people that the word of Jesus the is uh, the way the humanistic way to reach a better society, a better world with no wars and no hunger and no exclusions.
Pablo, how did his encyclicals Laudato Si and Fratelli Tutti, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, challenge global leaders to address climate change and social fragmentation and all the different woes that you were referring to of inequalities and violations of rights that happen around the world?
Yes, well, we we have to pay attention to one detail. Pope Francis was always during all these 12 years he uh, he raised his voice. He pointed the unfairness of the international system. He attacked the real powers of the planet. I mean, he spoke directly to the IMF against foreign debts. He spoke about the voucher funds that are go is taking the money out of the poor little countries around the planet. And his first act as a pope, remember that he went to the place where all these refugees from Africa were trying to enter into Europe through Italy, remember? Lampedusa, Lampedusa, I think it's called, uh, to point the immigration problem. And his very last act as a pope, I mean, internationally political act, we could say, was the meeting he held with the vice president of the United States, to whom he told in his own face that the way they are dealing with the migrants in the USA is not a proper human and Catholic way to deal with people. So he started and finished in the same way, showing us, showing the world that this this way that the world seems to have taken with all these neoliberal governments that only think about the profits, and they don't care about leading uh, uh, three-quarters of the humanity in hunger and despair. Well, that is not the way to build a better world. And he showed us, the people, I mean, the people of the Latin American countries, that the union between our, we brothers is the way to accomplish the dream of a better world.
Pablo, referring also, you were speaking about all the work that he carried out in the past 12 years, all the dialogue that he tried to create to find harmony among the peoples and the cultures of the world. What legacy do you think Pope Francis leave for future church leaders, also taking into account inclusivity and engagement of contemporary issues?
Well, I think that his legacy, the legacy we have to take as our own. I mean, the countries like all the Latin American community that we are trying to achieve our national independence yet in a full way. Well, we should take his word and his example. Uh, Pope Francis was a man that in his younger years he did exactly the same thing that he did when he arrived to the Vatican. He never changed. He was always with the poorest of the poorest. He was by their side, sharing their hunger, their cold. That's why the poor people in Argentina will never forget him. Uh, and I think that this example he gave us during all his life, and especially when he had when he was one of the most important human beings in the planet, actually, because he was the head of the Vatican. Well, he pointed the real problem. He pointed the extreme wealthness to be the target of our efforts, instead of fighting against extreme poverty. Well, let's see what happens with extreme richness. Okay, that is the answer. And I think that Pope Francis is going to be um, a light in the dark for us all to follow when the dark times that are going to be soon in our planet, they will be very complicated. And well, but Pope Francis is going to give us a light to follow during the dark times ahead.
Thank you, Pablo. Without doubt, Pope Francis was a great man and a great pope, and the people around the world today, the humble people and Catholic and non-Catholics, are today mourning the loss of this great figure. Thank you for your inputs here from the South.
My pleasure. My pleasure.